Aeronautics is out, and we are going to be taking a look at it. As you can see, I have made a plane. A disclaimer, do not kill all entities when you have a plane. So, create aeronautics. There are a few things we have to look out for when we try to make a plane, or a car, or really anything with this mod. And I will be walking through the entire process of making a plane right now. So first of all, we have this very simple assembler block. It can be just placed on any side of a block, side, up, down, anywhere. We take this block, remove this one, and then when you try to assemble it, watch out, you have to glue this kind of honey glue. Basically like create glue, with the simple difference you have this schematic like scrolling, control scrolling, size changing. So once you have this entire thing in one contraption and it's glued, you just go up here. You can already see the tooltip, hold and drag to assemble. So I hold and drag this up to actually push the lever, and now it's assembled. Same thing works when I hold and drag to disassemble. Now it's back on block grid. But we want this to be a physics entity, obviously, so we do this. Now we have this physics entity, it falls, as you can see, and we can do some very interesting things here. For example, when I do this, you're gonna see, if I just grab the creative staff here, they have become two different, even though they were just connected by this one block. This is shape splitting that they added into Trade Aeronautics. And if we take slime, like I did here, we can click two sides. They don't have to be the same side. We could just click them like this, and we have an L. Or if we click them like this, we have our little long shape. We don't really need this assembler here. The glue actually carries over, which is also nice. But we don't need all of that. So next up we have the torsion spring. This one is interesting because it is basically what transforms a bearing into a flap. You can select an angle here, anything from 1 to 360. 360 is far too much. Let's just set it to 20 for testing purposes. Then if we add sails here, and a hand crank, remember, set these to only place when anchor destroyed mode, or your motion is, I'm just going to show it to you here. Whoopsie doopsie, thought hand cranks would work. They don't. As you can see, only put it on this disassembly mode, or else it's just not going to work. Reset this one. And as you can see, as long as it's receiving rotation here, it turns it into the direction of rotation to the amount of degrees listed here. I could set this higher to 122, and it would spin 122 degrees. But that is obviously far too much for a flap, so let's go back to 20. And interestingly, you just reverse them. But if I switch around the rotational direction, obviously because of some glitch here, they are still the same. If we switch them again, you see, it turns around. Do it again, and again, and they basically just alternate here. So this is basically the system for the ailerons. We just need a clutch, or in this case, an inverted clutch from Create Connected. This is not an item from Create Simulated or Aeronautics. This is another older Create add-on that I just find very helpful for stuff like this. Then we obviously need a gear shift, and we can put our creative motor back. Actually, let's put the creative motor here, so that then we can do little shaft. Then we can just connect these up here. We can do the same exact process for back here. Use the torsion spring again. Set this one to also around 20 degrees. Now here, there is something you have to note. If these are our elevators, which they are in this case, because we already have the ailerons here, we can't just use a normal gearbox, because gearboxes, obviously, this one spins clockwise when this one spins counterclockwise. So this one doesn't work. You can have two options now. If you don't have create connected installed, just use gear shift, or place the shaft on one side and the gearbox on the other. But if you do, take a brass gearbox, because in this one you can just configure the entire rotation. Take a wrench, put your little control thing here. It'll place them the other way around because you have to shift click to not actually alterate this when you place. If you just try to place without shifting, you just alterate here. So you do this, you do this, set them to the right mode, grab yourself the sails again. Remember, sails, they don't have to be glued. These just assemble on their own. Next thing, symmetrical sail. Basically the tail fin for your plane. These are, contrary to regular sails, only 4 pixels wide. And, well, as the name says, they are symmetrical. So they are actually in the middle of the grid. For planes, this is important because you are going to need an alteration of these if your ailerons are connected to lift creating surfaces. Because if I were to make these be wings too, or well, not wings, sails, and assemble this one, grabbing a lever, because the entire wing just rotates. Glue doesn't change anything about it, it's just the way the sails are coded. They automatically connect to each other. So what you're gonna need is an alteration here, just using symmetrical sails for elevators, for ailerons. And we can just replicate the entire process here. Same game, just put your symmetrical wings, regular wings. Important here, the sails, they don't generate as much lift as you get in Valkyrien Skies. Actually, not even close. The lift production from these is far smaller than the lift production from Valkyrien Skies plane. But this can be pretty easily countered by just using more sails. In most Valkyrien Skies ships, you mostly just need 1 or 2 cambered wings and that's it. Here you actually need a lot of wings. But if I just take this up, you can see it already is pretty slow when it falls, and it obviously has lift here, while it doesn't down there because these are just assembled. And it falls very slowly as it, 1 is light and 2 just has lift here. The gearbox here again. And now if we just were to put an engine here, put our inverted clutch here, simply gearbox assembly, now put our propeller bearing, Here there's something important you have to make sure. This one cannot stick into the ground. When you assemble this on a plane, it cannot go through the ground, or else it will just collide with it and make your plane wobble around when you lift off. So if you want to have big propeller, use a wheel mount and just take any kind of wheel. I'm going to use the small tires here. Place them here. And now if I drop this again, you can see these don't touch the ground anymore. It's the wheels that are now suspending the plane. Well, yeah, they are. And now if I were to take this, move it, put a seat down in the plane. Now we have a few things we have to do. We're gonna need redstone links. And I mean a lot of redstone links. Because we don't have drive-by-wire, and drive-by-wire doesn't have compat with this machine yet, we're going to have to use links. But basically what Great Aeronautics added is a link typewriter. This is a form of better alternative to the tweak controller from Create Tweak controllers. You can also just install tweak controllers if it is on NeoForge, which I'm not sure it is, but it should be. And then you could just use that instead, but I'm going to use this here because it is just the normal way. And this one actually works a little bit better. Aeronautics has the same issue with linked controllers and redstone links that that Valkyrien Skies has, where it basically just says, oh wait, you're not in range, while they obviously should be in range because they're just two different chips. Now that is something that could be a config issue like it was in Valkyrien Skies, or it's just a general coding issue yet. I'm not exactly sure how to fix that, so I just won't bother fixing it. Instead, just use links. Remember to set up your frequencies here pretty easily. Just click the letter, put in your frequency blocks. Now if I was to do this, these ones, oh yeah, right. Modes. These ones would spin, and I would have ailerons. Obviously, we need to do the same for the flaps. So we do this. We just take two random blocks. It's pretty much unimportant what you put as frequencies. Always click this one with an empty hand. Now we have all our control surfaces. We just need the propeller itself to actually have a sequence. So we go here, we place this, make it shafts, why not? We put the shaft frequency in the spacebar. Or you can just put it anywhere. I just like to have it on spacebar. Sometimes I put it on right click or left click. But yeah, like this. As you can see, the plane is pushing right now instead of actually being pulled. That's an easy fix though. If you have the option, just reverse your engine. If not, yeah, just use a gear shift. Gear shift. Put the same frequency up below this one. So that then, now, if I go back into my seat, control this. Now I get pushed, get pulled, and I lift off. Now you see this one has a lot of front lift, so it just straight up loops. If I were to remove some of this lift though, can you? How do you... Oh, okay, so you just hold tab. Okay, you hold tab and then that controls very weirdly. So if we just were to grab some regular sails, put them up here, because we can. We don't need that much lift. I'm sorry, plane. And it started raining. Something that I've been waiting for my whole life, basically, in another Minecraft server. We noted this. You see, it still falls slowly in the front here, but it falls less slow. Go back into this view. It lifts off. It again just loops. So, I just decided to stop showing you that painful construction. Instead, I have been playing around a little bit more, and I have made this one. But you can see behind me here, this very nice plane that actually works pretty well. Hop into the seat, start controlling, hop into a decent camera, and now I can just lift off. Fly just like in the Aeronautics trailers. It is slow as hell, but it works, it flies, turns. And yeah. So it is very possible to make a perfectly fine working plane. They just have to be double engine, or you have to use very big propellers. So keep that in mind. But I think that concludes it for this video. I hope you had some sort of fun watching me do this, test out an entire mod. I do have a few ideas what I will do in the future with this. I guess you'll just have to see what comes up next on my channel, with hopefully actual upload ratios now, compared to my previous one upload a year. I really hope that gets better. Well then, see you in the next time.
Alien, what is a tail?